BBC News with Sue Montgomery. President Vladimir Zelensky has confirmed the withdrawal of Ukrainian forces from the eastern city of Lysychansk. Its surrender cedes control of the whole of the Luhansk region to Russia. Sarah Rainsford is in Kyiv.
It is an important moment because Russia's always talked about liberating the entirety of the Donbass region. Liberating, it says, of course, the Ukraine would say occupying. And that moment has expanded. There has been heavy shelling beyond the Luhansk region, in the Donetsk region. In fact, the hotel that I was in on the night that this invasion began has now been destroyed by missile strikes. And there's been deadly attacks inside Russia itself, too.
3 people have been killed after a gunman opened fire in a shopping centre in the Danish capital, Copenhagen. Many more were wounded, 3 of whom are in a critical condition. A man has been arrested. Police say he was known to them, but only peripherally. Our security correspondent, Gordon Carrera, reports.
It was around 5:30 in the afternoon when gunfire erupted inside the Fields shopping centre in Copenhagen. Some fled the complex, others desperately sought hiding places. Outside, emergency services raced to the scene. Those still inside were told to stay where they were and wait for police to come to them as they secured the building. At a press conference 3 hours later, Danish police confirmed there had been fatalities and said they had apprehended a man they described as a 22-year-old Dane. They said they did not believe there were other gunmen. They've not said what they believe the man's motive was, but say they cannot rule out terrorism.
West African leaders have announced the lifting of sanctions against the military regime in Mali. At a summit, they accepted a proposal by the military to return to civilian rule by March 2024. They also accepted a 2-year timetable for the restoration of democracy in Burkina Faso, but told Guinea it needed to speed up a 3-year transition. Richard Hamilton explains.
Mali underwent 2 military coups in less than a year, in August 2020 and May 2021. These were followed by similar moves in Guinea and Burkina Faso. Fearing contagion in a region notorious for military takeovers, ECOWAS imposed crippling economic sanctions on Mali and lesser punishments on the other 2. These sanctions had a devastating impact on Mali as its economy was already under strain from a jihadist insurgency.
Opposition politicians from Uzbekistan say they fear dozens of people may have been killed in Friday's unrest in the semi-autonomous Karakalpakstan region. The health authorities there say thousands of people are being treated in hospital following clashes in the regional capital, Nukus. Images show barricades and burned-out vehicles. BBC News. Hundreds of people have marched in the American city of Akron in protest at the killing of a black man by police officers. Jaylan Walker was shot on Monday as he tried to flee from a traffic inspection. The Akron police chief, Steve Milet, said a criminal investigation would determine how many shots the police fired.
We do not know the exact number of rounds that were fired. Again, this is something that BCI will discover in their examination of evidence. However, based on the video, I anticipate that number to be high. A lot of rounds were fired. While BCI needs to confirm the number of times Mr. Walker was shot, the ME's report indicates over 60 wounds to Mr. Walker's body.
A lawyer for Jaylan Walker's family said unjustifiable force had been used on a man who had abandoned his car and was running away unarmed. Voters in Papua New Guinea are heading to the polls for the first national election in 5 years. Prime Minister James Marape is being challenged by his predecessor, Peter O'Neill, who resigned 3 years ago under pressure over corruption. Around 10,000 police and army personnel have been mobilised for the vote. Police say 15 election-related deaths have already been recorded this year. Papua New Guinea is an ethnically diverse country with more than 800 languages. The Jordanian Prime Minister has announced the dismissal of several officials at Aqaba port after an investigation into a gas leak found negligence and deficiencies in safety protocols. 13 people were killed and more than 260 injured following an escape of chlorine at the facility last week. On Sunday, the port came to a near standstill after hundreds of workers stayed at home to demand better industrial safety measures. BBC News.